Namaskar, good afternoon, and happy Thanksgiving Day. Today, Thanksgiving Day, right? Children, dear parents, dear grandparents, dear friends, it's always so lovely to hear from you, get your reflections, and more and more and more of learning. As long as we live, that long we learn. So today, the Thanksgiving Day, I thought we would share something which should be giving us a kind of an appreciation of the world, of our parents, of our grandparents, of our children, of our friends, colleagues, this whole universe, this whole world. We should be thankful. Whether we believe in as an atheist in unified field, say I don't believe in God, or whether we believe in God or Allah or Christ, we should always be thankful. So this not believing and believing comes from ignorance and from wisdom. If, as per Vedanta says, if you don't believe in God, you're called an atheist. Atheists who don't believe in God. But as per Vedanta says it is not believing and not believing God is an atheist. Vedanta says atheist is the one who does not believe in himself. In himself. He is an atheist. So what is this? How does it mean? Let's take a meaning out of this. What does it mean? Remember that we have talked about a clay pot. A pot, I have a lump of clay and I have a lovely potter who takes the clay, makes it ready, puts it into the potting wheel and makes a beautiful clay pot. Now, understanding one. With me? The clay pot, a beautiful pot, so good. The pot is now very happy. I am the pot. It can be used for storing milk, rice, food, dry grains. Can be used for cooking or storing water or whatever. It looks beautiful. Good work by the potter. But you know what has happened? When I ask, it's a clay pot, right? You will say yes. I will say that means clay pot. There are two things, is it? You will say, what is in the question? Yeah, it's a pot and it is made from clay and pot. I say, okay, you keep the pot, I'm taking my clay away. Will the pot stay? Not at all. A scientist goes to a philosopher and tells, listen, we don't need God anymore. I have learned how to make life in this world. The philosopher says, really? He said, yes, come with me to my lab, I'll show it to you. So, philosopher goes with the scientist to the lab and the scientist starts off. First, I take a bit of clay. The philosopher says, make your own clay. Why are you borrowing clay from God? Supposed to be so-called believer of God. So as per Vedanta, see, we don't want to go into God or no God. It is just being thankful for being there. Whether I believe or I don't believe, or I believe in something, I believe in myself. I know all of us believe in ourselves. But that believing and being grateful, they are connected today. Forget God, and no God, no God, no God. Just being grateful to my parents, being grateful to my teacher, Acharya Devu Bhavu. Consider your teacher like God. Matri Devu Bhavu. Be grateful to mother. Give her a big hug today and say, Mom, you're the best mom in the world, children. Dear papas, give a big hug today. Don't mind my suggesting. To your dear wife and say, you're the best wife in the world. And wife, you could do the same thing to your husband and say, you're the best husband in the world. You know, I often say when I used to counsel in US, I used to do a lot of counseling for marriage counseling, parenting counseling. I used to say, when my wife dies, I then put a photograph, I put a garland, I put agarbatti, incense or whatever, a lamp every day, and I look at the picture and I silently cry, oh, I didn't do this and I didn't do that. Same thing with my husband. If my husband had died, I would do the same thing, similar. No? Just think, we worship our parent, we love, respect them. How many of us remember? Think about it, okay? And exercise. Our grandparents, some do, their names. Tell me, how many of us remember the great-grandparents' names? In the ancient time, as per Vedanta, you had to remember 7 generations of the parent, their profession, their names, etc. everything. That's being grateful, to be grateful to them. Now look at the clay and the pot. The pot cannot sustain without the clay. But is the pot grateful to clay? Pot is not even aware of it. It's ignorant. So similarly, you and I, we are made as per Vedanta, as per Darwinian theory, and as per any theistic religion, almost all religion except the Buddhism, the Jainism, like that, we have a few, believe that God has created this universe. We are trying to say, whatever has caused, Vedanta says it is you. How? This whole unified field was consciousness. Consciousness is Chit, as per Vedanta. Consciousness. Notice, you and I are today, we have shared with you this before, I will not go into the detail. We all face this universe, this world, because of our mind. And mind, along with the brain, the intellect, the intelligence, the memory, and ego, we experience the world. If and when we realize I have my mind, I straight away say, I am different from you. The moment I have a mind, I am different from you. And a tiny baby growing up very soon, by 1 year, 2 years of age, less than 1 year, you say Vedant Kute, and Vedant kicks like this. Maybe 6, 7, 10 months old baby already knows my name is Vedant. Ego is taking birth. So, the moment I am, which is because of the mind, different from you, it brings in duality. Two. But Vedanta says not two, there's only one. How is this one? It's not easy to understand, but you will. Vedantic truth, 1,000 years old. Great masters, Upanishads and Vedanta and Vedas have written it down. World is studying it. Harvard is got divinity school in which it is being followed and studied today. You can do a PhD in Vedanta today in foreign countries. Now, this Vedanta says, if you have mind, you are dual. The moment you go to that state where you are no mind, per yogic process Patanjali, how do you attain that? 8 limbs of yoga, remember? Ayama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, like that. And the last is Samadhi. So when you attain Samadhi, you are at no mind state. Then the yogis say, the Vedantists say, if you have no mind, you have no world. World and you become one. The moment you have mind, you are different from the world. So how is it related to this Thanksgiving Day? Try and understand. I, as the pot, clay pot, I don't even know that this clay is the reason why I am here. And if I am not baked, I am still raw clay pot, I can be molded into something else again. Same way you and I don't realize that we are Sat Chit Ananda. We are consciousness and existence. Everything exists. Exists. Sat. What is truth? Exists. The camera which is recording me exists. This computer exists. Anything in the world, the mountain, the forest, the dolphin, the dogs, everything exists. My children, my family, my parents, everyone exists. Existence. Whatever is existence is because of the consciousness. So, as per Vedanta, consciousness created Akasha, the sky, ether, which in turn created air, Vayu. The Vayu created Agni. Is different from Darwinian theory, by the way. Why is it? I'll just cover it shortly and maybe in future. Vayu created Agni. Agni created, you'll be shocked to hear, water. Opposite. And water created earth. And that's how these Tanmatras called, it's created this universe. In Darwinian theory and the latest neurophysicians and the scientists, they're all saying this consciousness is some kind of a reaction called epiphenomenal action of the brain. Epiphenomenal. By the way, brain has created something called mind. By the way, brain has created something called consciousness. So, you see me, I'm seeing you, or I'm seeing let's say a flower, or that pot. Pot is not entering my cornea for me to see it. Light goes and falls on it, the light reflects into my cornea. From there, the pot is not entering, light is entering. And that light is sending off little electrical impulses from the cornea, from the optic muscle into the brain neuron. And the brain neuron, from there, neurophysicians, till today, the neuroscientists, the surgeons, they cannot realize how from that brain, that little spark suddenly takes the form into the mind, a clay pot, or a flower, or a mountain, or my friend. How does it happen? They can't still explain. So David Chalmers, an Australian neurophysician, he's in NYU, New York. He's got Mind, Brain, an institute where he's doing this study. Famous book written by him, Hard Facts of Consciousness. What is soft facts? Opposite of hard facts is very simple. I feel like having coffee. So I take a cup of coffee. They put various electrodes and all that and scan out. And as I take the coffee, certain things happen in my brain. They mark it and they say, okay, when Robbin Ghosh drinks coffee, this is what will happen. This is soft fact. Very simple. When I feel happy, this is what will happen in my neural EEG. When I feel sad, this is what will happen. When I feel depressed, this is what. When I get angry, this is what will happen. This is a soft fact. It's very simple. Instrument can record. How does the brain, that little tiny spark, change into a flower in the mind? Nobody can make out as yet. But Vedanta has gone ahead and explained it. So let's get off that track. We will talk about it some other time. What happens now? This consciousness for which we are, as per Vedanta, have been created, we are unconscious of our consciousness. Realize that we are aware of the people around us. We are aware that if I have to earn more money, get good food, I have to go out and get it from there, or ask my mother or wife or husband to do something for me. Out there, not in me. Being grateful is being grateful to that consciousness which is within. So be conscious, children, parent, grandparent, my dear friends. Be conscious of your consciousness. Be grateful. Every moment, be aware that I cannot experience the computer if I am in coma, or if I am unconscious, if I am in deep sleep. I cannot experience the world. So the world around is because of my consciousness. If I am conscious, the world exists. The Vedanta says, Tat Tvam Asi. It is you are that. You are that world. You are. As we go along, you will get to better and better understanding. Just know it is so. So, I'll give you, there's a beautiful statement written down about gratefulness. The statement goes on to read, if you have more, you will be given more. If you do not have, whatever is given to you will be taken away from you. Now, this sounds very bad, no? If you have more, that means I am very rich. I'll be given more. And if I do not have, that means I am poor. It will be taken away from me, whatever I have. Something is not correct. No, it is correct. But there is one word is missing. Not missing, intentionally taken away. And you know what is that? In Bible it says, if you have, children, gratitude. If you have gratitude, you shall be given more in abundance. And if you do not have gratitude, it will be taken away from you. So notice, if you're grateful with your mom or dad or your wife or your husband or your parent, they feel more grateful and happy with you and give you more, no? And you know what? It is more predominantly prominent in Quran. Quran goes ahead and says, know it verily, if you are not grateful, you will be punished severely. And if you are grateful, I shall give you abundance. This being grateful is the Thanksgiving Day, which I am talking to you about. Like to hear a small story? Small one. There is this little fisherman, very poor, married with his wife, and he used to go and catch some fish, will sell some in the market, buy wood and rice with that every day almost, come and that will be cooked and they will eat one meal a day. Very poor. It doesn't happen to us. We don't realize how poor can people be. And one day, whole day the fisherman is trying to fish his net, and suddenly he didn't catch anything. And he was saying, now my wife is going to kill me today. I haven't got anything. What am I going to do? How will I go back? And suddenly he was drawing up his net and he was saying what to do. Nothing, today we'll go hungry. And suddenly he found a small, yellow, beautiful looking fish. Very small fish. And fish was jumping inside. He said, wow, at least I've got something. But then the fish, children, started talking. He said, please, please don't kill me. Let me go. I will grant you whatever you want. He was surprised. Fish is talking. He said, see, the fish is saying, even if you take me, if you kill me and eat me, I'm only this much. I'm nothing. But if you save me. When you go, you will get abundance, something, whatever you want. He said, really? Okay, I'll let you go. When I go back, there should be some nice food and lots of wood for me and my wife to cook food. The fish said, Tathastu, with his wing, little fin. And fish went away, was let off. When he goes back, he suddenly smelling nice, fragrant, and the wife was standing in the door and smiling, and he said, thank you, your friend who you have told. Those people came down and put food, and he said, this fisherman, his name was Krishnan. Krishnan. They said, Krishnan has sent us this food. Where did you get it? So the Krishnan said, let us eat, then I will tell you. And while eating, Krishnan told him about the yellow fish. The wife was different type. She said, you are such a fool. Why did you let the fish go? Tomorrow he will go, he will not catch the fish. And now who is going to give us food? Today at least we have got 2-3 days food now. You should have caught him, kept it in a jar, and whenever you wanted something, you should have asked the fish, give me this, give me this, give me this. Krishnan was a very nice, divine, very good, simple-minded person. He said, no. If I go and call again, fish will come. He seemed to be a very nice fish. Wife was very upset, very mad with him. Anyway, after 2 or 3 days, he again goes back to catch fish. He called, oh yellow fish, please come up. I'm in trouble. Wife has placed big demand. Yellow fish comes up. Said, what do you want? She said, I want a new house. And I want new clothes. And he asked, and immediately as he goes back, he finds new house, new clothes. He said, wow. The wife said, again you let the fish go? You should have caught him. Wife was not grateful to the fish. Krishnan said, no, it's such a kind fish. See, so much of wood, so much of... Next day the wife said, ask for more money, ask for gold, and like this demand kept on going up. Eventually one day, wife said, listen, I'm spending sleepless night. We have so much of wealth. The dacoits will come and rob us. So what you do today, you ask the fish, that you give me, I want some ferocious looking somebody who should guard my palace, my house, my gold, everything. Now the Krishnan is very rich. But the wife is still ungrateful, not grateful. Greedy and wanting more and more and more. So the Krishnan, very sadly, he said, I have everything now. Why do you want to ask for the fears? He said, you don't understand. They will come and kill us just for our gold. To have somebody to guard us. The Krishnan was very loving towards his wife. He said, all right, poor girl, I will do that. He asked the fish. Fish said, okay. And as he goes back, he suddenly found a huge, like a giant, a girl giant with teeth outside, hair flying. And he got so scared, he said, my God, this fellow will eat me up. And he started running away. And the giant said, don't run, Krishnan. He said, how does the giant know my name? He's still running, he's scared. Huge giant, double-story building, that tall, 40 feet tall. The giant says, Krishnan, I'm your wife. The fish has played dirty trick and made me into a giant. See what happens when you're not grateful? She said, you better go back to the fish and tell the fish instantly turn me back into what I was. The Krishnan, very scared, he goes, takes his boat, goes to the same place called no yellow fish, no more fish. Krishnan, what did he do? Children, now you meet the rest of the story. But moral of the story, be grateful to the whole world, to everyone, to that little dog, to this little flower, to the mountain, to the air, to the water that I drink. I am grateful every moment to the children to give us a beautiful school, to God, to goddesses, to the mother, to the universal field, to you parent, that we all could make a beautiful organization. And I'm always thinking, I wish we had a school like this when we were children. Isn't it, parent? So children, you want to know what did Krishna do and what happened to that girl? Krishna never came back. He ran away from there. And this monster looking, that wife continued to be there, and story ends there. Be grateful. I love you.